Folks, I'm going to tell you 5 quick facts about black bull markets. Now, did you know, number 1, they're New Zealand FMA regulated? Number 2, did you know they have a copy trading service where you can either be a signal provider or copy signals? And number 3, did you know they've got over 26,000 tradable assets, including Forex, crypto, stocks, indices, and even more? And number 4, did you know they offer 500 to 1 leverage? And number 5, if you open up an account today and trade 1 lot a month, they're going to give you TradingView Pro for free. Check them out, Black Bull Markets. Folks, I'm going to tell you 5 quick facts about black bull markets. Now, did you know, number 1, they're New Zealand FMA regulated? Number 2, did you know they have a copy trading service where you can either be a signal provider or copy signals? And number 3, did you know they've got over 26,000 tradable assets, including Forex, crypto, stocks, indices, and even more? And number 4, did you know they offer 500 to 1 leverage? And number 5, if you open up an account today and trade 1 lot a month, they're going to give you TradingView Pro for free. Check them out, Black Bull Markets.
Hello. Welcome everyone. Diego from Bank Level Trading. How's everyone doing? Just going to test the waters out, making sure the audio is working before I start. Just testing. Just say yes, you can hear me or not. Hi, Freddie. How you doing, mate? Okay, perfect. Okay. All right, fantastic. So let's get straight into it. In the meantime, if you guys have any questions or any markets you'd like me to cover, then now is a very, very good time to take advantage of these forecast live streams and the BOT. What is the BOT? Bank level trading. It's essentially a redefining of a pattern, updating in real time using Elliott waves to filter out low probability SMC/ICT level. So if you're an ICT trader struggling because it's really, really complex, you don't know what to trade, when to trade, then the BOT will utilize patterns to filter out all the noise and keep it really, really simple. So this is the thing when it comes to SMC. You can either trade SMC and ICT alone, or you can have your own little niche with an edge. And this is what the BOT is. It's a bit of a niche utilizing patterns. So for those of you who don't know, an example would be an order block, right? Multiple order blocks. This is for all the new traders that are new to the BOT. So obviously you have multiple order blocks. Which one to take, we don't really know, right? And what we do at the BOT is we wait for a pattern. Right, we need to wait for a pattern. We don't know exactly which one we're going to take. So let's just say, for example, there's a pattern here. We need to implement Elliott waves. Right, so we're trading the Elliott wave 5. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And with that particular pattern, we obviously have this. We need a fake out of the pattern. And you can see it's not going to be this one because this one is more or less in confluence with the actual pattern, as you can see, look. Right, so this is invalid. Right, a lot of SMC/ICT traders will probably take this, even if there's a break of structure on the lower time frame, and take a loss. Obviously, there's still going to be multiple opportunities to get involved, or you might just have an order at the very top and it decides to basically just plummet from that point of interest, right? From here. But there's a reason why it's from here, is because the point of interest has to be outside of the pattern. So out of all these 4 order blocks, is what I call a banker block. This would be the high probability one, right? So this is a pretty decent entry. You obviously once it's within the actual pattern, then that's when you look for confirmation, right? So once you do have that confirmation here on the right hand side, a break of structure, then we look for the retest with the BOT. So this is how we trade SMC / ICT, etc. Right? Don't really trade ICT, but you can see there's some similar concepts around it. So this SMC entry would wait for confirmation on the lower time frame, but that's once the Elliott waves and the pattern has completed a third tap fake out, whether it's ascending, you've got one tap, two tap. We need that fake out of the pattern, or a descending pattern. We need a fake out of the third tap. So 1, 2, a fake out. We need to look for a point of interest to the left. But that's what we do with the BOT. And it just happens time and time and time again. Instead of waiting for a break of structure here on the left-hand side, depending on your back test, then yes, you'll probably get a nice point of interest here, even if you're on the lower time frames, but you'll notice that your win rate is probably not going to be the best, right? With the BOT, you don't trade often, and your win rate should be at a decent level, right? Bank level trading accelerated is an upgrade to this strategy. That's something completely different. But today on these live streams, I just cover the BOT, right? Shyam Singh, how to identify that SSL stop loss or BSL is taken out? I'm sorry, but I don't know what SSL means or BSL. Just so you know, guys, there's a lot of concepts when it comes to ICT. I probably don't know 95% of them. So you guys need to spell it out for me, if I'm honest. So I don't know what SSL means or BSL. I honestly don't know. So if you can sort of tell me, then I could kind of help you out. Shyam. We'll just wait for Shine to briefly reply to that. In the meantime, regarding patterns, right? So we're still trading what a lot of you guys are familiar with, but we still need a pattern, otherwise it's invalid, right? So the only thing that I'm really familiar with is really just the order blocks, equal highs, and fair value gaps. Really, that's it. But I know there's like 20, there's like another 100 terms and methodologies, and I don't. That's not my approach. I focus mainly on patterns, right? So this particular bank level, it's looking like a decent bank level, especially because of the equal highs that we can see here, right? Has little equal highs, right? So nice point of interest, and we also have a bit of a large banker block here, right? So that looks okay for a point of interest, but we're not going to trade it unless there's a pattern approaching it with a third tap. So from what I can see here at the moment, there is a bit of a large sort of daily pattern. So this to me is currently indicating there's further room to the upside to at least grab the liquidity of this bank level. But as for an entry, I don't believe there's going to be an entry there. Normally there'll be a fake out, right? So this fake out would be in confluence with this banker block, right? So if we can find that, that would be our entry. So potential trade coming up on that particular pair. And you can just see there's fractals of everything, right? Right, same pattern. You're still trading Elliott waves, right? So, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and that's our entry. And vice versa, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And there we go, right? Really, really simple stuff, nothing complex. The BOT is not complex, it's extremely simple, right? You just have to know how to combine different strategies into one, right? And find your niche. That's the best approach, right? Because I did not invent Elliott waves. I didn't invent equal highs or all these other methodologies. I just sort of combined what I already knew, implemented it, tested a bunch of different stuff, and I essentially just resonated with this style of trading because I've always been a pattern trader at heart since the beginning. Like over 10 years ago, I always started with patterns, from head and shoulders to triangles to hexagons to butterflies to circles to channels, and now I mainly just focus on wedges, unparalleled channels, and that's it. But that's because I battle tested every single pattern, right, to the T. And this is, look, again, nice point of interest, nice little banker block. And what happened was obviously, again, look, 1, 2, and you've got the boomerang. That's it. It's a boomerang. It's a fake out. Simple. Boomerang. Or vice versa. You'll see a boomerang like this. Boomerang. And obviously, if you don't know what a boomerang, please Google it and you'll see why I came up with that name. Right? Just a little hint. Is a hunt in price. And a boomerang was used to hunt its prey, right? Back in the day. So just happens time and time and time again. So it's really, really effective. Okay, see, that makes sense. Sell side liquidity and BSL is buy side liquidity. Yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Cool. So what was the question? Hold on. And how to identify the sell side liquidity or the buy side liquidity is taken out? Yeah, again, it goes down to patterns. So this is the BLT, everyone. It's very, very different to SMC. Obviously, with the other concepts, it's very different. The way we identify sell side liquidity is not really the points of interest, the liquidity pools, the banker blocks. It's not the equal highs. All right, fine. The equal highs can have a point to it, but it's not our main concept, or even the banker blocks. We don't need a stop hunt of this area or this area. We need a stop hunt of the pattern. I always refer back to the patterns. Once the pattern has done a boomerang, everything else just as a byproduct is done for you, right? Once there's a buy side liquidity of the boomerang, normally it means that everything else gets liquidated, right? That's the way we personally trade SMC at the BOT, right? So it's really, really effective. And I've seen some traders that haven't even done the BOT course and they're implementing patterns into their trading and they're smashing it. It just makes sense, right? No point of putting indicators on volume and Fibonacci and adding every single thing that ICT talks about, which is, again, it's complex, it's very advanced. Much respect to the guy. But when it comes to trading, I'm a big believer in simplicity and making trading your own little niche and just something that resonates with you, right? Obviously, there's a bunch of traders that trade just ICT and are profitable. Okay, that's cool. But with the BLT, we focus on Elliott waves, patterns, reversal, compression. Then we look at a little bit of SMC, but we're not looking at every single SMC level and every single ICT level and all the other concepts and rules that goes behind it. We do that at the very end. We don't even look at break of structure, confirmation. We don't do that. All of this, for me personally, it's just too much information. I get a headache. I just wait for a pattern, look for confirmation, look for my entry, bada bing, bada bush, right? Keep it really, really, really simple. So with that being said, the short is not really ready yet. If I'm honest, I believe there's a further room to the upside. So the dollar's still bullish. So to answer Freddie's question, I'm guessing the gold is still bearish and it's going to turn bullish soon, right? Now, if we zoom out to like the weekly time frame, we could potentially just see maybe something a little bit bigger play now. What's happening here? Let me actually zoom out and see exactly what's happening here. Not much going on, to be fair. See, this is going way too back. See, that hasn't even completed that third tap. I don't look at the monthly, by the way, guys. I'm just kind of getting a glance of what I'm looking at. Okay, cool. So nothing really there. That's too much of a higher time frame perspective. I like focusing on this sort of time frame. So September. So basically, yeah, around 2-3 years is all the data that I need. Like going back and looking at everything, this is no need for it. Yeah, 2-3 years of data is more than enough, to be fair. In terms of what I'm actually expecting, I am expecting. I mean, I've been calling this for a very long time, right? Since literally probably in the last year or two. All of this is just taking its time to come all the way down, right? I have not changed my bias, but as I'm expecting this is a long-term move, there's been buys and shorts, right? Every single week, I change my bias. 1 minute I'm bearish on London. Next minute I'm bullish in New York. So the bias is always changing. Long-term, I'm expecting this to drop towards these areas and also reverse back up to here, right? So everything's just taking time, right? And you can already see by implementing patterns, there's a little bit of a parallel channel forming, more or less, right? There's a bit of a parallel channel. We do have a potential reversal from here, but there's too many confluences for this to just, it's unlikely for it to rally to the upside. The momentum is not strong enough. Plus there's some bearish BOT confluences there. Yeah, I'll look at gold. I'll look at gold. But after I look at, it depends, when am I going to look at gold? Oh, gold's the next. So that's fine, yeah. Cool, so that's what I'm expecting. Potential shorts. That's a daily. Okay, yeah, keep that there. There we go. And at the moment, we're in the middle of no man's land, right? Or literally in the middle of no man's land. So two things can happen. Again, all these points of interest that you see here on the left, you don't have to look at it when it comes to the BOT. So it's actually stress-free. We're in the middle of no man's land. So I would just, there's actually ways to trade this, but for basic purposes, in the middle of no man's land, I'll advise to just wait for a boomerang. And then you can look for shorts, right? I'm currently long. Sorry, I'm short on the euro. I just have to be a little bit patient. There's a bit of a range at the moment on the euro and also the dollar. So it's just a little bit of patience. Normally I don't hold trades over the weekend. I rarely do. But in this occasion, I was kind of forced to hold a trade over the weekend because my rules suggested that I mechanically should not touch it because of XYZ, right? So we're basically within a bullish channel, right? But yes, you'll still see some potential opportunities, right? On the lower time frames, if you want to be a bit of a degan, go on the lower time frames, look for compression, equal highs, stop hunt, nice little short, grab the liquidity here. So yes, you can still trade SMC and whatnot, but it's always better to just wait for a BOT pattern, right? So we're stuck in a range, stuck in the middle of no man's land on everything, basically. That's what I'm more or less anticipating on the TXY. So very, very choppy. Gold. 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 What's happening with gold? Let's see what's happening on the weekly. Real quick. Looks it looks quite bullish. Yeah, bit of a bullish channel. Don't really know when it's going to sort of break out. So I wouldn't be surprised if this fakes out and then drops. For this to be long, we need to see momentum. Then we catch a retest with some form of a pattern. And this pattern will be on like the M15 H1, and it'll be a larger sort of reversal pattern like this with the SMC levels on the left. So we still need confirmation. So it's still quite early on gold. Definitely still early on gold. I believe there is, let me see, anything else happening here? Yeah, there's a bit of a pattern here. You can just see that it's not really ready, right? There's a bullish pattern there. But my sort of concern is it hasn't really completed the boomerang. We need that boomerang. So yeah, I mean, everything's bullish, but this is obviously going to reduce the probability. Now for this, what else is there actually? I believe there is a bit of this particular pattern here. So we're kind of in the middle of no man's land between every single pattern. So personally, if I'm trading gold, I would just wait for a boomerang, whether it's a boomerang of this pattern here, a boomerang of this pattern here, or a boomerang of this pattern there, or a boomerang of this pattern there, or maybe there's an ascending little boomerang around here on the third tap. I need to wait for a boomerang. So at the moment, it's just taking time, and I think this is normal when it comes to September. It normally does take a few weeks for price to sort of settle, start correlating again, full liquidity comes back, patterns become consistent. It takes a while. And it's the same with January, from what I've realized with the BLT. When it's December, it just takes time, right? That's just normally what happens. So I'm not really in any rush to trade. I've honestly just taken just one trade this week. And I think last week it was also one trade. Lately, I've been taking like a trade a week, if I'm honest. I'm not really trading that often, but I think that's because of September is just trying to find its ground. I believe maybe next week, moving forward, and October onwards, I'll be more active, taking 2 to 3 trades a week. And that for me is more than enough. Notice how I'm saying 2 to 3 trades a week max. Notice how I'm saying I've only taken 1 trade a week. You don't have to trade often, right? And it's not really a coincidence that all these prop firms have released the data more or less at the same time. And they all have one thing in common when it comes to profitable traders that are actually maintaining a funded account, that are actually withdrawing from the markets, are the ones who are trading 2, 3, 4 times a week. Not the ones that are taking 5 trades a day or 10 trades a day. Those are the ones that are not really, in the leaderboard, and not the ones who are smashing it. It's the ones who trade less. Less is more. Cliche, but less is more. So yeah, that's gold is a bit in the middle of no man's land for me. Plus, I would rather sort of wait for a liquidity grab on sort of this pattern. If we can have a pattern here, compression or some Elliott waves, nice liquidity grab, that would be ideal. And plus, this large sort of banker block, invalid for me unless there is a pattern with a fake. It has to be outside, then it's valid. We always need a pattern. That's rule number 1. Sorry, that's rule number 2. That's the most important rule in the BLT, is a pattern. Who can guess what's the most important rule in the BLT? Rule number 1. What do I always emphasize on? Who can actually guess that? The main rule is obviously patterns, fake up the third tap, Elliott waves, etc., etc. But who can actually guess what is a rule that I follow blindly? I don't even have to check it. Break absorption point of interest. Nope, it's not that Freddy. And it's nothing really. It's nothing really technical, if I'm honest. It's just a fundamental rule that I follow strictly. Nope, no, nobody can guess. Time of entry, nope. So my main fundamental rule is to basically just don't look at the news. So I never look at the news. I never look at fundamentals. Never, right? I just trade, and that's my main rule. That's as me personal. Yeah, rule number 1 is obviously to wait. That's actually fair enough. Time of entry, yeah, kind of. I don't want to trade at 3 in the morning. So yeah, but my main one is just never to look at news, right? If there's news, there's news. If there's no news, if there's volatile news, trade the setup. And I'll give you a perfect example. In fact, last week there was CPI, a lot of hype on Twitter saying it's going to go up and down, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I caught this trade here, right? Literally caught this trade here. I'm expecting a potential tenor. And this is because I'm following the rules. And look, what is there? What did I just preach about? Third tap fake. I'm not going to lie, it's not looking good. But this is just an example of not looking at the news, right? I knew CPI was I knew CPI was coming out, but I didn't give a damn. I still set the order. And that was my entry right there. Well, no, it's probably a little bit lower. Something like this. In fact, I've got a better example here. Look, where is it now? There we go. Yeah, look. Shorts triggered. That's my Twitter handle. So I caught this entry. And it's not really looking good. I mean, it's Monday. I'm on break even, but it's a bit of a messy trade. Not every Friday trade for me is going to be amazing. Normally, Friday trades for me personally, they normally hit 5 to 10 hour. Not this time. But look, Look at the example, look at the entry. And that's without even looking at the news, right? I set the order. And look, this is literally news. This is CPI, the big, scary CPI. Still managed to catch this trade. And if I'm completely honest with you guys, this is a very, very terrible entry. Extremely terrible. I'm very disappointed with it. But this was due to a little element. And I decided to take it anyway. But this is terrible. Normally, my entries are actually around here, right? So this is... yeah, very bad trade. I'm quite embarrassed about it. But yeah, crap trade if I'm honest. Normally I take better ones, but yeah, just an example. Forget the news. In fact, one of the traders in BLT accelerated, had a plan to, on the euro or something, followed the rules or whatever, had the entry and everything covered, but then got worried because of the news. Guess what happened? He missed out on that 40R because he looked at the news, right? News is all priced in. Just don't look at news. You don't need to look at news. That's my rule number one. If I ever do like a marketing campaign and do something crazy or something, I'll call this strategy no news. But yeah. So that's the euro. It's just choppy. I mean, this could still drop. I'm just going to be a little bit patient. Just requires a bit of time, to be fair. So that's the euro. Aussie. Hold on. Joshua, can I join Euro USD? Can I join what? And do you want to join the BLT community? Euro USD, yes, done that. And what do you mean by can I join, Joshua? Anyway, I'm gonna send over the Discord community. There's actually a couple of strategies in City Traders Imperium's prop firm, so feel free to join the community. So some of the benefits that you get, it's not just the strategies and the prop firm and all the other benefits. There's also live streams that we do in-house. I'm doing another live stream within the community at 5 in a couple of hours, and also another one on Wednesday. So obviously on trading, I'm just here once a week. So this is the link to Discord if anyone wants to join. It's always good to just sort of nibble between different prop firms and yeah, just investigate, see what everyone offers, look at the community, etc. Aussie, what's happening there? It's looking a little bit. Very, very choppy price action on the Aussie, to be fair. More or less a perfect sort of third tap. So what I'll be expecting on the Aussie is, yeah, most likely a bit of a fake out, which is in confluence with dollar weakness, but we need a little bit of dollar strength. So this is looking okay. There you go. This is the pattern. So again, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, third tap fake out of the large pattern. So this entry here, 1, 2, 3, you can see, look, fake out of the boomerang, most likely going to liquidate this. You see what I mean by when you have the pattern done correctly, it normally does a sell or a buy side liquidity of whatever you've been looking for anyway. So this major low is very likely going to get liquidated, and obviously then you start looking for the points of interest here, etc. That's looking okay, to be fair, for a potential long. It's going to separate the pattern and focus on the current pattern, which is looking okay. It just looks like further downside, to be fair. In terms of an entry, nothing really here, to be fair, but look, see that again, See how consistent that is. Right, we've got 1, 2, 3, fake out. Very, very consistent. So powerful. Middle of no man's land, there's no pattern. Everything's a bit flat. Is Monday. I'm not a fan of Mondays anyway. Dollar yen. Dollar yen, dollar yen. What's happening here? And okay, so what day was this? It was Tuesday. Okay, fair enough. Tuesdays, dollar yen is kind of just, it's taking its time, to be fair. Yeah, it's taking its time. Look. Taking its time. What can everyone else see on dollar yen? Nope, nobody can see anything. Fair enough. Dollar CAD. Yeah, dollar CAD is still dropping. Yeah, just a matter of time before it, continue to drop. Okay, there we go. Okay, decent. So dollar CAD is just in the process of completing 1, 2 on its way down, potential 3, look to the left, equal lows, and then you can kind of see where it's heading. Look, so it all just magically just correlates at the right time. See that? Nice little equal lows. And then we've got the liquidity pool, which is these wicks here, and the other wick. And that's a good point of interest. All right, this is what I'll call plan A. Plan B would be this momentum and potential right shoulder. Right, so this is looking okay for a long. Yeah, nice little point of interest. Cable. That's it, really. That's it for me, guys. You guys got any questions? Let me just read the chat. Yeah, Nasdaq and S&P. Yeah, can definitely check that out. In regards to the BLT, has anyone got any other questions? In the meantime, let me look at S&P. Let me tidy this up quick. Hold on. Separate this here. Separate this here. Tidy this up. And look at that. Can't make this up. Got 1 tap, 2 tap, boomerang. Just imagine implementing this with SMC and ICT. Just imagine you can do that. What we do at the BLT. Hey, Coach Carter. In terms of any potential setups, it's quite, I need to zoom out. There's a lot going on, to be fair. A lot of pattern separation currently. So it looks like there's a lot of room to the downside. But I also wouldn't be surprised if it reverses from here. So I'm just going to separate this. I'll definitely be looking at this trend line for any sort of reversal patterns. See that just by separating the patterns, it's looking quite bearish for now, unless it updates. So that's my sort of game plan, bearish. But before we get that liquidity grab of these sort of points of interest, and then a short will be ideal. But short term, in case it does reverse because of the other patterns that I had earlier. So that's S&P. Nasdaq. Where's Nasdaq? Nasdaq. There we go. Okay. So it's just broken out the pattern in the middle of no man's land. Nothing interesting for me at the moment, if I'm honest. Nothing really interested. There's nothing clear that's kind of shouting at me. Freddie, if there is time, do you think you could go through the lower time frame on that S&P boomerang to look for a valid entry? I had the pattern, but couldn't find anything on the lower time frame. Sure. Let's see if we can reverse engineer it. I'll definitely like to do that. So which one was it? S&P? I'm sure there must be like an entry somewhere. There must be an entry. Look. There you go. That's the entry on the H1. So obviously if you're like a swing trader or, you know, already that's a pretty decent entry. Not too bad on the boomerang for a short. Target this low at the start of the pattern. So boom, 18R, but that's not good enough. That's not BOT standards. We need a lower time frame entry. Yeah, I don't want to reveal too much of the B123 because that's quite that's a bit of IP for the BOT traders. But just as once, I can do a bit of a glimpse and see if there's anything sort of clear. Yeah, I mean, look, there is a high there. A high there. Yeah, there's even a low here. There's a low here. Broke structure with momentum, which is clear. And then you've got, not sure if there's a pattern here. Oh, but I'm on the M5. Let's go M1. So this is more of a Deegan play, right? So confirmation on the lower time frame. So there is your pattern right there. There's a pattern. It's not really. Yeah, okay. Equal highs. And you got the liquidity pool over there. So technically this will be your entry. Yeah, your entry would be approximately there. But because the point of interest was inside of the pattern, I would preferably like to use plan B. So there's, yeah, it has to be outside of the pattern. And this will be, yeah, the entry. So plan A, I wouldn't use it. I'd rather use plan B. And plan B, just, yeah, few pips below, etc. Approximately down there. And your stop loss, depending on how risky you are, you can have a really tight stop above this little tiny high there. Right, if you want to be really aggressive. And that same trade that was 18R could have been 30R, right? So it really depends on your risk appetite and how risky you are. Or you can have more of a conservative sort of stop loss and just put it above basically everything. All these highs, if you want to be really conservative, it's still going to be 10.7R, right? But at least you're in the safe. So yeah, that's more or less how I would have played it, to be fair. But yeah. Dollar CAD. Cool. Has anyone else got any other questions regarding the BLT? Or any questions regarding bank level trading accelerated, which is the more advanced version of this strategy? Let me know. If not, we can wrap things up. And also, hold on. In the meantime, you guys can add me on Twitter. Here's my Twitter handle. So add me on Twitter. Say hi. Don't be shy. Cool. Anything else, ladies and gents? Okay, I'm going to take that as a no. Thank you. You're welcome. And have a good day, everyone. Trade safe. Bye-bye.